At least Matt Riddle lost, we can say that much. I'm Joe Rentham with my review of WWE Raw. We are on the road to Survivor Series. By the way, that's one night of the year where Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head. You know, all those guys that have been on Raw and SmackDown for all of a few weeks after they did the draft and switched everybody around, rearranging the furniture in the house. So now we get these great, well-established Raw and SmackDown stars going head-to-head. Which brand will establish supremacy? I don't really care, do you? And Survivor Series actually, since the brand split came back, hasn't been horrible. It hasn't been great. But the whole idea of champion versus champion, Team Raw, Team SmackDown, you know, men and women, they don't have NXT involved this year, which is probably a good thing. That means Walter can't get fucking squashed like he did last year. Yes, I'm still mad about that. This show had a couple good matches, and it was put in a freaking blender and then was just thrown at the goddamn screens. Like, here, guys, enjoy. I know that there are some people that probably aren't going to, you know, agree with this, and that's totally fine. Please, the comment box is there. But this was not a very good episode of Raw. I understand what they're trying to do with Orton, The Fiend, and Drew, but guess what? I didn't care about Orton versus Bray Wyatt in 2017. I sure as fuck ain't going to care about it now when Bray Wyatt's in a freaking spoopy mask, and it's still Bray Wyatt. So we get recaps of Drew versus Orton. The new Raw theme is shit. Absolute goddamn shit. Most, you know, modern rap is pretty damn shit. So Drew is here. He has no excuses. He says he's got a plan to get his championship back. And hey, cool. I hope it happens. I think he's going to have to go to SmackDown and maybe win it sometime next year, the Universal Championship. But it is what it is. Drew was a very good WWE champion, especially during a time where there were no fans or they had all the dubbed-in crowd noise. The dubbed-in crowd noise, by the way, is absolute goddamn ass. Thunderdome, whatever, I don't care. It's fucking terrible. I understand they're trying to make it seem like, oh, people should be interested. The Thunderdome concept, it's a bunch of grainy screens. It's cool that fans can watch from the comfort of their own homes. And I hope that you guys are taking care of yourselves, regardless of where you're watching from, whatever. I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves. But it's still not a great look when you're dubbing in the crowd noise and dubbing in the chants. These chants, they could be from, a few months ago. Fuck, they could be from 2 years ago for all the fuck we know. So Drew says it's not about how hard you get knocked down, but how hard you are getting back up. I may have misinterpreted that just slightly. Hi, Karen. How you doing? Hey, Noah. Figured you guys would like that. So then we get Miz and Morrison out here to do the same stuff. Who told Miz that wearing a 70s powder blue suit was a good idea? I don't fucking get it. So Miz goes on about being the Money in the Bank winner, you know, getting the briefcase from Otis last night. No Tucker, by the way. No Tucker on this show, so maybe they'll switch Tucker back to SmackDown. They'll continue this feud with him and Otis that nobody cares about. And then they'll just drop the whole damn thing like they did with Crime Time after one pay-per-view, and then nobody will care about either of them. And one of them will stick around in the company for a few years without being used all that well. So I'm guessing that Otis will end up being the one that's in the JTG role. So enough of this. Drew gets more and more annoyed. And then he beats him down. Says he's got an idea for later. I got an idea. I'm going to run by management. There's apparently Adam Pearce and that Pat Buck guy. You know, the ginger. I think that's what he is. Actually, I'm not even really sure. Maybe he's a dyed ginger. Moving on from the ginger comments. So, Survivor Series, by the way, one night of the year where Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head. You're going to hear that a whole lot on this show. Well, you know, on this Raw and also up into the pay-per-view and even during the pay-per-view. In fact, I'm going to have a counter. It's probably going to be at about 300 times by the end of this week. So then we get Styles with that Jordan guy, the really, really huge guy that, was the bodyguard for Raw Underground. Raw Underground's done, by the way. Hooray! And they says, hey, Jeff Hardy, my associate will make you wish that you never put down that bottle. Great, they're bringing up Jeff's addiction. I get it. If Jeff's fine with it, fine. Cool. It's ultimately his decision on that. If he's going to sign off on, he's okay with it. Or maybe he's saying it because he's, just towing the company line. And I'm not the biggest fan of Jeff Hardy. I feel he's been given way too many damn chances and can't really do anything in the ring. But if he's been sober for over a year, that's better than how he's been doing. So I got to give him props for that. If I'm going to slam him when he's not doing well, I got to praise him when he is. And I got to say, they might want to drop this because, okay, yeah, Styles, we get it. I mean, Styles, you have your own problems. You still have issues with the gay community. So anyway, Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. Well, it was a Survivor Series qualifier. Basically, there are 3 qualifying matches tonight, and the 3 winners get on Team Raw. Look, Jeff was caught by Jordan and then cut to break. The breaks were really badly timed on this. Jeff should not be wrestling anymore. It takes him forever to do any of his spots, and he's beaten his body up for years and years and years. He wrestled in the 90s, he wrestled in the 2000s, he wrestled in 2011, and we saw what happened at Victory Road, and that was a low point, and okay, it is what it is. I'll retro-review that in a few months. And now he's in 2020, and he ain't going to make it to 2021 with the way he's wrestling. He ain't going to make it maybe to December. Like, really, this needs to be his last run. If his contract's done soon, just let it ride out, let him go. Same with Matt. Just let him ride off into the goddamn sunset. Neither of them can move anymore and shouldn't have been wrestling for the last few years. So, match is okay. Phenomenal forearm, 1, 2, 3. Elias hits Jeff with his big instrument right over his back. A lot of instruments all over the back of other men here. And so, yeah, Styles moves on. Then Truth says something about sleeping dangerously and stuff like that. Sarah looked good. I've noticed that about this. And Truth is funny. I don't care about 24/7 championship. So then Susan G. Scammon ad. I want to say right now that breast cancer awareness is a good thing to bring awareness to. And it's a good thing to donate to. Susan G. Scammon's a fucking scam. And that's what they are. Read up on it. They're a fucking scam. And just honestly, donate to breast cancer causes. But Susan G. Scammon, yeah, fuck them. Fuck them and fuck everything they stand for. Which is just profits. They don't give a shit. At least the higher-ups don't give a shit about actually putting any money towards the cure. Maybe the other employees do, but the ones in charge fucking don't. That's why I'm calling them Susan G. Scammon. Gulak and Tozawa versus Metalik and Lince Dorado. Truth shows up because apparently he thinks 24/7 championship should be defended here. And Tozawa tries to pin him on the outside during the match, and Dorado pins Gulak. Why is the 24/7 championship stuff still happening? And then more guys try to pin him. Cool, whatever. The Funhouse. We get Mad Hatter Bray and Alexa using arsenic and poisoning the rabbit with the tea. We get it. We get it. They're supposed to be spoopy creatures and everything. You know, I thought the Alice in Wonderland live action movies weren't all that good. This, I'm over it. I'm fucking over it. Bray and Alexa seem to be having a blast. Good for them. You have to try to be different. That's fine. I'm over the Fiend character. It's just Bray Wyatt in a spoopy mask. Funhouse Bray, it's the same shit. Whole thing with Orton gets mentioned and the shed burning down because he looks at the picture and the fire. Remember when Orton burned the shed down? So they're doing that. You know that feud that got fucking torpedoed at WrestleMania 33 and they're revisiting? You can only do this stuff for Bray's trying to right the wrong, so to speak, and go after the people that got him. You can only do that for so long before it gets annoying and gets boring. I just didn't care. So anyway, they're like, bye, see you later. And Alexa said at one point, oh, the fun is just getting started. I hope so, because it ain't fun so far. And then Lee is upset at Braun and will take it out on Elias. He will unleash his BBC all over Elias. If I have to picture these things, and so do all of you people. So, Nia and Shayna have their own list for Adam Pearce, who apparently runs a goddamn show, about who should be on the women's, team for Raw for Survivor Series. Cool, whatever. Elias versus Lee, Survivor Series qualifier. So, sometimes, when it comes, they say sometimes you just get tunnel vision over things. I didn't think this was 1997 in the UK or France. Moving on. This was fine. Elias actually did some good stuff. I mean, after hitting the announcer's table, and then we go to the commercial. He's beating down Lee and doing some hit and run offense, which is good. This was better than the Styles Jeff Hardy match. Still wasn't great. And then Jeff's music hits, and Elias is distracted. How dare he be distracted by this music, even though his album just came out? And then Spirit Bomb 1, 2, 3. Didn't hit him with the BBC, though, so Elias did not take the full impact of Keith Lee's BBC. I'm going to keep saying BBC until you get very uncomfortable about it. And then Jeff, impacts Elias's back with his instrument. So much impactful stuff with the instruments here. Orton is champion. He doesn't care who he faces. He doesn't care what he's doing. Or he doesn't care, who comes after him. He's going to be the champion. By the way, we're going to get Bobby Lashley, the U.S. champion, versus Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion, at Survivor Series. Somebody said they should revisit Lashley's sisters. I wonder whoever came up with that storyline to basically be thrown in a swamp with a bunch of rabid gators. So let's just do it with Bruce Pritchard. I mean, they probably wouldn't even touch him anyway because he's like rotted meat. Hey, Kevin Dunn, they hate beavers down there, so throw that Bucky Beavertooth motherfucker in there. I didn't like that storyline because it was stupid and Sami Zayn was uncomfortable and Lashley was fucking, destroyed after that. Well, anyway, we get the group that calls themselves Retribution against the Hurt Business elimination match. Okay. By the way, first the Hurt Business say that they'll take out Retribution. Retribution is one of the worst stables in history. They are worse than the Dungeon of Doom. The Dungeon of Doom had the Yeti. You know how hard you have to try to be worse than, a group with the Yeti? Is that a head he's got on or a stump? They had John Tenta as the Shark. They had Kevin Sullivan in there. They had that gimmick, was absolutely terrible. Kevin Sullivan's gimmick. They had Brutus Beefcake as the Zodiac. You are worse than a gimmick stable that had Brutus the Barber Beefcake in it. Congratulations. God fucking damn it. Moving on. So, Mia, at one point, Mia just has a freaking meth seizure or whatever. I don't know what the hell this was. It was like she was channeling Kidman from the flock. She's doing the itchy thing. You remember when Kidman, was doing that like he was a heroin addict in WCW? And then they broke him out and he got clean and then started winning matches. And then he had the Hogan feud in 2000 and we don't talk about that. Sorry I mentioned it, but retro viewing WCW 2000 has been a bit rough on me. So, she does this weird meth thing and she's all freaking out, doing all this stuff. This is at the point where I said USA Network should just pull the plug, pay him out, for the contract and just say go somewhere else. I can't imagine that USA Network, I can't imagine they're too happy with some of this stuff. I mean, if it's getting them enough ratings and they're getting enough advertising revenue, okay, but this is not good television. Then again, they'd have to put on more episodes of Chrisley Knows Best, and nobody wants to see Chrisley Knows Best. If you think you do, you're wrong. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but Chrisley Knows Best is wrong. And anyway, also the fucker needs to stop lying to himself. So anyway, I'm sure those kids aren't his. So moving on from that, Lashley, by the way, MVP got pinned by Slapjack with the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling surprise roll-up. Mia was faking it. But was Mia Yim still out there? I actually don't remember if she was still out there or not. Everybody in Retribution is fucking wrecked. They need to scrap it, send everybody home until the Royal Rumble, pay them to sit home. You got enough money, just pay them to sit home. Say, train everything. We'll wipe the stink of this gimmick off of you guys and bring him back in 3 months. Because, seriously, there ain't no upside to Retribution. There was no upside before it. When they debuted, there ain't no upside now. And I love Ali. He ain't saving it. Ali is a future goddamn superstar. He should be a current superstar. Like, upper mid-card at least. And he ain't gonna be. This is absolutely terrible. He's worse off now leading the group that calls themselves Retribution than he was being on Main Event. And I didn't think I'd say that because I was rooting for Ali to make this work. So anyway, Lashley then spears Slapjack, and then Lashley and T-Bar fight out, and then I want to say Cedric beat Mace, so he's been around the world. I feel like I need a mace to the goddamn head after this, and I ain't talking about the pepper spray. Hurt Business wins after, Ali causes a DQ, hits Cedric with a chair, and then all the Hurt Business targets a Muslim man in Orlando News at 11. And then Angel tries flirting with... Yeah, this is shit. They didn't do anything for Ali. Everybody's just freaking ridiculous. Then Angel Garza tries flirting with Mandy, then Dana, and then Nia. After getting rid of the Bachelor chick, now they all of a sudden, whatever her fucking name was, doesn't fucking matter. Now he's flirting with everybody. Doesn't he have a fiance? Why is he still doing this? Why is Angel Garza still doing this? Drew versus Miz with Morrison. There was knee targeting because Drew had hurt his knee at the Hell in a Cell match against Randy Orton. Or during the Hell in a Cell match against Randy Orton. And it wasn't bad. I mean, Morrison did give it to Drew right in the face, which I think created a lot of fanfic right there. Eventually, Claymore 1, 2, 3. It was kind of funny, though, before that, Drew took the briefcase and just threw it, towards the stage. See, if Drew was champion, that would have made more sense, but then he just did it. I guess it was what it was. He did throw Morrison. That was nice. New Day is the Street Profits, and then Asuka shows up. Asuka was the best part of this goddamn thing. Then we're getting champions versus champions, various champions at Survivor Series. The one night of the year where Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head. And then Hurt Business says, we're coming after the tag titles. And then Drew says that he will reclaim his championship. And he talks about Orton being on a moment of bliss. And then Pierce and Pat Buck, the Ginger Buck, they talk about who will be on the Team Raw or on Team Raw for the women. Shayna and Nia, then Dana and Mandy. And then everybody else comes out that's part of the Raw roster. Except Mickey. Where did Mickey go? Did Mickey get drafted to SmackDown? Is Mickey just sitting at home? Like, seriously, I don't know. Put her in NXT. Have her face some people. Fuck, have her get something interesting out of Candace. I mean, God, she deserves a lifetime contract if she can do that. So anyway, had to take one shot at Candace there. Lana, Lacey, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross with new music. Nikki Cross got music from a 70s sitcom. Peyton Royce, why'd they break up the Iconics? Why is Lana still allowed to be in a goddamn ring? What? You know what? Sable learned her place to stay out of wrestling, and Lana should learn that. Seriously, no upside. I thought there was upside to Lana even a couple years ago. There ain't no upside to Lana. I don't hate her as a person. I know she had her parents got sick, and I'm glad that they recovered. At least apparently they did. And I don't wish anything ill on the person. But she's a fucking rotten performer. She can't do anything in the goddamn ring. Fatal 4-way match. The winner gets the final slot on Team Raw. Peyton, right back from break, scissoring Nikki Cross from behind. Lana tries to do a move over the roof. Look, let me make it clear. I ain't an athlete, but goddamn, don't do shit you don't know how to do. Quoting Dusty Rhodes. Seriously, just quoting Dusty Rhodes right there. Anyway, Lana wins, pinning Nikki Cross just to further cement the fact that they don't care about Nikki Cross. I ain't saying she's buried. That music ain't fucking helping, though. And then Nia puts her through the table again. Good. This is what WWE's doing, though. They're like, hey, we signed you for 5 years, so we're going to beat the shit out of you until you quit. That's got to be it. They can't see any upside with Lana in the ring. She has no upside. And then Orton says he does not fear the Fiend. Retribution talks about their mission, which apparently is to job out completely, be complete jokes, or maybe it's to show us that Vince McMahon only cares about featuring talent properly like 4 times out of the year. Maybe I should beat the sarcasm drum a little bit harder. But anyway, Sheamus versus Matt Riddle, Survivor Series qualifier. I will say this much. Sheamus was laying the shit in here. I will not discount Riddle as an athlete, but Sheamus really was laying his shit in here, doing a really good job, and eventually won with the bro kick. Good. I'm not even the biggest Sheamus fan, but it was nice to see Riddle getting jobbed out. Because if this stuff actually is true about him, if it is, then yeah, he should be jobbed out, beaten in the powder, and then released. Because you shouldn't do that regardless of whether you're a man, a woman, an athlete, somebody from Mars. I don't fucking care. Or maybe you're somebody from Uranus. Had to throw a joke in there. Seriously, I like the fact that Riddle's losing. It's what he deserves. But yeah, Sheamus gained the victory here. And then we get a moment of bliss with Alexa. She's the Chucky doll. We get it. She's spoopy. She's spoopy and everything. And then she's all laughing at Randy and everything and all this stuff. Drew attacks Orton and Alexa's laughing and doing all this. It was like the Kill Them All thing in the first part of it Chapter 1. Except that had, better production values and that was actually better and not, directed by a 75-year-old man that should not be in wrestling anymore. Look, Alexa was having fun with it, and then the lights go out forever, for like 20 minutes, seemingly. I think it was only like maybe 45 seconds. And then the Fiend appears while Orton is on the stage. And then he looks over his shoulder, and then he decides to go back and face Drew. And then they brawl a little bit more. Fiend just disappears. Don't know where the fuck he went. And then it cuts as Orton is beating Drew down on the announcer's table. Look, if Raw is going to continue to be a bad show, then I'm going to continue to point out the bad shit that's happening on the goddamn thing. WWE has had some good matches and some good moments this year. If you happened on Hell in a Cell last night, this was not among any of the good things that happened for WWE. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.